authentic conversations about ourselves and our community, exploring topics that uplift and inspire us. From personal growth to social change. So grab your teacup and get ready to join the conversation. Over and over and over and over and over until they're 50, 60, 70, 80 years old and got good sense. Know better, know what's really real out here in this life, know where to go, know how to get down, know how to cut, and you would not be able to tell it from the piss poor way that they continue to move, operate, and live, in spaces. So yeah, no problem, score. Disco Carol. Timothy says Anton pre-planned this. That's why he brought a security guard, and his opening line was a myth about black men being slaves in the United States. Okay, so and see, that's another thing. I'm not fully aware. I am up on my history. However, I'm not so much clear on whether or not we own each other. I know that some of us bought some of us from still, after slavery was abolished in like 1892 or something like that. That people each other before you know came and got us from where they that that from they got us from, and things like that. Tree and keep doing that. So sorry. And brought us over here. Okay. Now, I heard that once we break from slavery and to some other head, where we were no longer in the nest, like the chains were necessarily in. Anton, because Corey's not letting up.
Back to the conversation, because you're not gonna do me with that dick. You're gonna
And I had a girl that was living in my neighborhood that had been seen like walking back and forth from the store. So one day, she looked like she was struggling with some items. So I gave her a ride. I like knew her in passing high and by, in speaking, ways. And so we kind of got on like speaking like, hi, how are you? I never went to her house. But unfortunately one day I invited her to my house. And I used to partake. I don't now. I have completely given up drinking brown liquor, any liquor. Um, so I'm really on, a healthy journey. So anywho, that me and her were having shots of a cognac, and my husband was there. Now my husband's not, Flavor Flav. He's a good looking black man. He's in shape, and he looks good. And unbeknownst to me, he was like, "What is she doing?" I'm like, "I invite her over." She walked in with some groceries. I invited her in to have, a warm shot of cognac with me and just sit and shoot the shit. He was like, "Come here." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "This broad right here, she done tried to talk to me." I'm like, "You know, whatever you're saying." Like, my husband, he's one of those types of guys. He don't really like men, with too many, sitting and then mixed with his best friend. Anywho, I'm telling you, she's seen me out in the neighborhood and she's tried to talk to me. So I'm like, okay, I didn't blow him off, but I'm like, let me see if I can tap in what he's talking about. So I pour her another shot. Lo and behold, Her conversation goes from what we're talking about, just everyday life, everyday living, things around the neighborhood, blah, 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 to my husband walks past. She's like, your husband look good. I'm like, thank you, I know. She like, you welcome. I'm like, okay. So this ninja wasn't lying. Like, he was telling the truth about this broad. So she's like, I'll take your man. I'm like, what? You're making it like you're really reaching. And she's like, no, I can take your man from you. You ain't treating your man right. I'm like, you don't know me. I know my he would never ever be somewhere telling another woman something, you know what I'm saying, about me, Tanisha. Like, nah, he don't move like that. She's like, yeah, I'll take him. I know you ain't treating him right. I'm like, let me make sure we drinking the same thing. Let me make sure we drinking the same shit. Because she got to be on something else. So I can tell that she was like really feeling the cognac more than usual. And she just got reckless. She got like Anton in Corey's house right now, in my house, about my husband. Like, no, I grabbed the kitchen table and I threw her out my front door to like, there's no way that you think and my husband are social to control how somebody moves in the capacity of my life. That'll never happen. If you can take my husband, then walk out the room. You're walking out of here on your ass. Right? So that's where this went with Corey and Anton. Okay? You ain't gonna do nothing. Like, yes, I am. In this moment, Corey should have removed Anton from his studio. He should have removed him from his studio. He would have not continued to have the privilege to speak to me in my house, especially after all of that, to my face, Darlene, and everybody else that respects me and to higher caliber than the trash and triflingness that's out here in these streets mixing and mingling, which is a result of no mixing and mingling. Okay, because everybody ain't safe. That's just ass heart. Okay, wanted to give a girl a ride. I had to see her and I knew her and her man were having problems because I didn't seen them before in the neighborhood bickering or whatever have you. And I was like, oh, I'm always trying to uplift and empower, especially other Black women and people to live better and do better, right? But everybody's not worth your support and worth your help. And I've had to learn that. So I'm more precautious about who and how, I invite, especially who comes in here. I'm very particular and very, precautious about that. So rolling. And if you have any type of instances where you've had to check somebody in your house or in your court or on your platform or wherever you dwell, okay, at work, wherever you're at, drop that out in the chat.
Again, we can go back right now.
I can't even let the video play. Corey's not letting it go. He's just not letting that go. That is like a rock that's just like right here. And Corey can't, he's like, I got to get this out the way. I'm not going to be able to move forward until I move this mountain out of my way.
I'm with you. I bet you won't say that shit. We know that.
Okay, so Corey or Anton is now inviting Corey outside. but we're on a platform. We're and this parent don't give what it needs to give. Let's step outside. And I would rather in the light of a dwelling and outside of, I'm just not like break TV chairs, find not like that. I come from an era where we used to go to the backyard. Who comes from the backyard era? Y'all take that. Y'all start with that. Y'all who comes from that today? All we see all over now that's TV and Zeus Network. They are in people and bees and hotels down. Like, girl, who raised y'all? It's not this. Somebody had to call. So yeah, I come from that generation.
Nobody get about that shit. Hey, no.
Do you? I don't know why my life is going on. Do you see the continuing level of disrespect? Corey is referencing, I got money for my studio, nigga. The level of where he's like, I don't even really care about going outside right now. I'm here with this shit. I'm here. You can cash at me at Tanisha Talks Teas. Is my cash app? Let me see. Hold on. Yeah, Tanisha Talks Teas for blessings in my cash app. So, this is a mess. This is a mess, right? He is so disrespectful. I don't care about none of this shit. So I'm gonna drop my cash app down here. Okay, there we are. So if you want to bless the channel, you can. And greatly appreciated. It continues to go into the work that I do to put in to give these lives. So thank you all so much for supporting. The very simplest support you can do is hype my video and like it and subscribe and turn on your notification bell. Thank you. Complete disrespect.
It's not respect.
I ain't falling for them. I ain't falling. Darlene, get out the way. Don't get in the way of two niggas. Let me tell you something, homie. I ain't got to go out back right now, because we got to go out back to lead this motherfucker. But I'm saying that dick sucking shit, watch that. That's all I'm saying. And if I don't say it how you like it,
If you want to
okay,
get back to the conversation, we can get back to the conversation.
But just know,
I'm not listening to none of that shit, bro.
Here, nigga.
I'm not listening to none of that shit. If you want to get back to the conversation,
long as you
we can
know.
get back to the conversation.
Long as you know.
Bro, you not,
because that ain't
you not that tough.
So they done went into an intermission here. Corey is trying to give Anton grace, and I think it's because of his age and his recent injury that he suffered. I really do. I think that is
straight.
Why
Everything straight.
Corey is trying to give Anton some grace, because I don't know a man alive that are not under these particular set of circumstances where age and, you know, potential threat of injury furthermore than what you've already previously suffered would come into play, other than that reason when you are being challenged by your manhood. Okay, his manhood is completely at question right now. Anton said that Corey Holcomb gives gok. That is a ultimate level of disrespect. There's no other way around that.
Nobody saying I'm sucking dick no more. Everything straight.
For sure, for sure.
We can't let it go. Could you let it go, man? Man in the chat right now. Would you be able to let that statement roll past you, like roll off your back like water? Would you be able to do that? Please drop that in the chat. I really want to know if there are any men in here that would be able, no matter what you got to lose, no matter what, set of circumstances are, wife at home, grandkids, whatever the case may be, career, job, whatever the case may be, would you be able to let that just roll off your back?
I got a question for bro, though.
And I'm going to respect him on that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He said what he said, so I'm going to respect him on that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, question. Given that black people are on the Democrat plantation, what do you say about the use of Christianity to make slaves out of black people?
In what, today's time or historically?
No, sir. Historically.
Yeah, absolutely. It was used in a negative way, but anything can be used in a positive or negative way. You can weaponize literally anything. Corporate America, for example. You can use the internet in order to push out propaganda, or you can use it to communicate effectively with the people. You can use money to manipulate people, or you can use it to help people. And so you can't just say.
Now, it's easy for Anton to just jump right back into mode of talking points and wanting to get, through to Corey's audience and his audience that he brought with him as well from his influence that he brings. It's easy. He was not disrespected to the level that Corey was. So Corey's whole demeanor is still stuck at that mountain that he has not yet been able to move.
That Christianity itself is used. The Quran is used in a negative way in order to control people. So it depends on the person, and that's why we evaluate the person based off of their fruits instead of evaluating them based off of Christianity itself. Because everybody that calls himself a Christian is not a Christian.
100%. So I agree that the teachings of Jesus are pure. However, in the hands of Caucasian white males,
that's not true, because I know some good Caucasian white men.
Of Jesus,
and I know some bad Caucasian white men.
Okay,
so look.
Now, I understand how everybody feels like they want to try to move past that statement that Anton made with Corey Holcomb. However, the elephant is in the room. It's squashing Corey Holcomb's whole understanding of who he operates as a black man in America, because most of the agendas that are being pushed on black men in America is homosexuality. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Okay? So Corey is now engulfed in the fact that Anton said that about him, and he knows. Because Corey has spoke about this from time to time on his show, right? Where he said things like he has been in spaces and places where he felt that if he didn't move in like a homosexual way, he would not be accepted for certain positions and things like that. Excuse me. In Hollywood. So this is eating at Corey right now.
This is what I listen.
Keep everything respectful.
Listen. This is what I'm saying. The reason I don't have a lot.
What question would y'all ask if y'all were in Corey's audience right now from the statement that Anton made about Corey Holcomb? What questions would you ask Anton and Corey after that statement was made? I would ask questions such as this. Anton, can you further please explain in the most rational, calmest way about what you said referencing to Corey with that statement that you made, to let's try to clear up some of this dust that's in the air, because there's a lot of dust in the air and I'm trying to get this shit out of here. Okay? That is the question I would ask. I wouldn't just try to sweep that under the rug. Let's try to clear that out of the air right now to then attempt to bring this back to where we can maybe hopefully have a civilized conversation.
People up here at the show is because I know a lot of people aren't initiated when it comes to talking to men of a certain mind state. And I don't believe you knew what you was doing when you said something about dick sucking, brother.
I done told you. Shout out to all 16 people in the chat. Okay, I've been gone for a while, but I'm back with the Give Grace to Crash Out Waste lives. I'm so happy y'all are taking to it. Please turn on your notifications so you never miss a live and a chance to interact with me when I do these. And like and subscribe. I told you, and Corey is not leaving this alone.
Apologize.
Okay. Hey, bro, I appreciate that.
I apologize.
I appreciate that because this ain't no show. The last thing I want to do is get into it with you physically, but I have a switch.
I do too. When I'm a man, just like
I respect your switch. I respect
you too.
Okay, good. I'm glad, brother.
Good.
It ain't no fake shit right here.
Absolutely, I'm with it.
We straight. I respect your switch, brother. And
now, from that apology, I don't feel that it was as sincere as it needed to be. And Corey doesn't either. Corey's not a young man that doesn't operate off of understanding the vibes of, translating energy between each other. Okay? Follow up with, as a man to man, I was wrong for saying it in the manner that I said it. I meant it like this. I got caught up in my non-thinking about what I was going to say in my emotions, and it came out like that. It wasn't the brightest thing to say to another man. I know how that can trigger another man to thinking I called him a homo. Okay? And I would tell Corey how I meant to, say that. I think he gets into that later on. I might just let the whole video play because fuck it, we're reviewing the whole video now.
I'm saying a lot of people don't know the way I was brought up. You can't step to men like that. I'm not checking you. I'm just trying to let you know that when we talk to each other a certain way, like if dick sucking is brought up, that's just like motherfucking pissing on my shoes. So I'm saying like I could get back straight. When I shook your hand, I'm phony.
Listen, I get into it with my homies. I get into it with my brothers. I don't have no sisters. I got three brothers, and we scrap it out. I scrap with my nephews. It is what it is, and then we shake hands and we keep it moving. Once we have a disagreement and we get it out of our system. So if we good, then we good.
I'm good.
I'm with. Let's get to the conversation.
That's why I tried to explain myself right there, because I'm like, this man probably don't even know that my mind is set up, Anton. My mind is set up when people do things like I call it Backdooria on my show. Mm-hmm. When people throw that at you, it's a set off. I'm saying like, I ain't trying to get set off. I think I'm a lot more than somebody with name calling to get at me. But I'm saying like,
but see, I don't believe you, Corey. I don't believe you, bro. Okay. And let me tell you why I don't believe you. Because you do the same shit that you feel offended by.
Really?
You do, absolutely.
Give me an example.
You just did it. You said a lot of shit to me that I don't necessarily care about.
I ain't said nothing about dick sucking.
You pick and choose what's disrespectful because you applying it to you. It's other people out there that don't take that shit.
Okay, well, I'm glad you said that. So listen to me, Anton.
But hold on. Let me say this last
land.
But I get it because you don't know me and I don't know you. So you don't know what I look at as disrespectful. And so as a result, I just let that shit ride. The only thing that ever triggers me is it, and this is why I like to do shows in person. I told you before the show, I said I don't do no more live streams with people that I don't know. Did I not say that? Because I want to see and look in their eyes and see what's really happening, right? And the reason that is because the only thing that set me off is if somebody make it seem like they ready to do something. And I'm like, okay, well, it's all hands up. Fuck the conversation.
Well, how about this? People may be ready to do something for whatever reason they want to be ready to do something, but what?
Okay. If y'all follow Anton, which I believe some of y'all do, Timothy Taylor, Disco Carol, and may know of some of, you know, the comings and goings of Anton Daniels, has he ever been called a white person ass kisser before in any other capacity? I know that have been in some of Anton's chats, and I see that go up. I've seen Anton, you know, address it. I have not seen Anton, if I'm, you know, mistaken or just not knowing, whenever maybe Anton has ever given smoke like that to anybody else that's called him a white man lover, however have you, then, you know, if you know something that I don't know, drop that in the chat, or email me at tanishatalk@gmail.com so I can send me a link or something. I can go check that out. But I've never seen Anton give up the level of smoke that Corey has, or that he did for Corey. Maybe he's fed up with hearing it. I don't know. And it pushed him over the edge. I don't know. But I know that it's not uncommon for Black people to address Anton like that.
You know, in this world, they are trying to normalize men in dresses. They trying to normalize a woman wearing a thong in front of a church gathering or whatever.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? I could handle whatever is happening out there, but I'm saying, like, I'm still standing on this. I'm standing on this. If a man walk up to me with some homosexual talk, like, I could take, I said this before, I could take a meeting at a brother like Tyler Perry's house because I know what's gonna happen if it go bad. The house gonna get tore up. I ain't saying that to act like I'm tough. I'm just saying,
I feel you.
There's certain things that we as men cannot say to each other without clashing. And it is my opinion with niggas that I know and where I'm from, if I say to one of my homies, man, suck a dick, everybody will get quiet that we know. And they'll be like, what is that? What is that? Because it's like, it's that homosexual talk. So what I'm saying is, you know what I'm saying? If it's one way to get a brother.
Well, yeah. Anton told Corey that he got Gox. We would be looking around for a fight to, you know, jump off in that thing. So, yeah, pretty much.
Like me, I know brothers who are preachers that would put their religion down for that right there. That's all I'm saying, black man. That's all I'm saying.
Listen. That's what where you at. So I'm gonna respect that.
Thank you, brother.
It's simple as that.
I don't want no drama.
It's simple as that.
I swear I don't want no drama, man. My life is good.
Mine is too.
I believe you. My life is good.
I'm
man.
with you.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't want you to come up here for that. It's just the simple misunderstandings that we as men can have. I think older black men like us need to make sure there are boundaries that simply can't be crossed when men are talking. And if you tell me a boundary, Anton, if you tell me a boundary, I promise you, I'm going to do my best not to cross that boundary.
I'm not.
When I'm on my way not to call Willie D nigga, because I look at him the man.
I kick it with Willie too. For me though, I don't give a fuck about the talking. I don't have no boundaries. I don't care if a nigga say something about me.
Wait a minute. If you don't live in a place in your life where you have boundaries, then you open yourself up for attack at all areas. If you don't set boundaries and have a boundary that you stand on, making sure that others need to know this is where boundaries are in place. People will walk all through, ice skate on you. So I didn't understand that talking point from Anton. I didn't understand that. As a 40-something-year-old man, how can Anton live effectively without boundaries to an extent? I understand no boundaries when it comes to making money, when it comes to how much I love my wife, when it comes to what I won't do for my kids. You see what I'm saying? Things like that. But as far as like other people's respect for what you have done in your life, you must have boundaries, or people will walk all over and through.
It is what niggas say shit like that all the time. Like that's the environment that we live in. I only care about my real life.
Can I ask you a question? You just said men talk disrespectfully to you in your face all
No.
this is nothing.
You did not hear what I said.
I said
they do that shit all the time. You see it in the chat, you see it in the comments, all of that shit, right?
Yeah.
I don't care about.
All right. Anton said a minute ago, I wasn't able to touch on because I had to go check my door for a parcel. Anywho, that he fights with his brothers and nephews and things like that. I believe from listening to the Millionaire Morning Show, or maybe one of his After Dark or Room 9s, is one of them shows he be having, where he touched on that. And I think it's because y'all, let me know if y'all know any further, understanding behind this. I think it's because they don't necessarily so much respect Anton's views as their Black brother and uncle on having such a white mind. And I think that's why they get into it. And that's no way to live. You see what I'm saying? If at the age that Anton is, if he can't sit down with his brothers and his nephews and not per se bring them over to, living like him, but at least respecting his state of mind, or where he's coming from on his walk as a man in life, then you don't even need to be, what I'm saying, continuously fucking with your family in that way. Because if it's always a fight every time you go around your brothers and your nephews, that's no way to live. Like, that's just constant chaos.
That shit, right?
That's right, because that's for the internet.
Right. So when people stuff, I don't take it personal because it's not a thing to me. It's just talk. The only thing I care about is what happened.
Okay, so did he not take that personal? Did he not take that personal? Thank you for teacups in the chat. Chad Smith, drop some teacups in the chat. Thank you. Flint Foundation says, y'all saying that because his voice is light. He really a cool dude. Anton does kind of sound like my daughter when he got a little loud with Corey. He did kind of give like a high-pitched olive oil voice. My daughter, she's so adorable. She sounds like olive oil. And so does Anton a little bit. Hi, Bobby BK 1965. I'm not saying that Anton ain't a cool dude. Outside of some of the disrespectful things that Anton says, I do respect Anton's, insightful information that he does have for, what I'm saying, a greater, better way of operating and successfully setting yourself up for, living a more prosperous, peaceful life. I do. Trust me when I tell you, I do respect that, because those are the types of things that I look for, to continue to gravitate my own existence in my life with my family towards a better life, a better way of living. Like Anton has this bag chaser community over on Patreon, things like that, where he talks, stocks and bonds and real estate and, the job market, the economy. His Millionaire Morning Show, after he gets, all off into his talk about, what he got and how much he's spending on it and all the money and this and that Anton flaunts around in his, places he goes and things like that. You got to get past all of that if you're not really there for all of that, showing off. Because I don't think it's safe, to be honest with you, in today's day. There's too many of us that are not having. There's a lot of have-nots in this society that will look at Anton like a lick, straight up. You see what I'm saying? Anton is a big flaunter of very expensive things that he's not just wearing. Like, he'll have a $100,000 watch sitting here and he'll be like, yeah, ninja, my 100,000 watch. Y'all niggas ain't getting it like me. If you want to get it like me, better join the bag check. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with being prideful of the success that you made, but it's another thing when you flaunt it in the face of others that ain't got shit. Okay, especially in a city like Detroit. So Chad Smith 50 says his voice got lighter when Corey switched seats and got in his face. Okay. He turned into Mariah Carey.
In real life. When I cut that shit off in real life, my life is great.
Right. Let me tell you something.
So my point is that I don't take nothing personal unless it get personal, unless it gets physical. That's the only thing I'm up on. Anything else I can walk away from. I don't give a fuck about that. My life, I could walk away and I'm probably gonna never see that person again.
I understand. So this is why the chat, I allow them, and in fact, I encourage them to be themselves in the chat, because this is a computer screen. But one thing I will say about, this is to the youngsters especially, because they the ones who really don't know. I'm talking about 35 and under. When you in a man's face, you have to watch how you talk to them, because face to face is a lot different than the computer. On the computer, I got motherfuckers talking about me.
No. Let me ask you a question.
This motherfuckers saying all kind of shit about me on the computer.
Let me ask you a question.
But if they in my face saying that to me,
let me ask you a question.
It can go bad.
What?
I'm not saying I'm not acting tough.
Hold on.
I'm not acting tough.
I'm asking you a real question. Why do you get triggered if somebody says that to you? Like, what is it in you that gets bothered?
So I understand where Anton is going with this rhetoric, right? If you don't do it, why should it affect you? That is something that, because I don't do what say you said I do, I'm up in arms with it. I'm up in arms with it. That's like somebody saying you're a child abuser and you know you're not a child abuser. You're not going to be like, I know I ain't no child abuser, so whatever you talk. You'll be like, wait a minute, check yourself at the door. I'm a parent that, takes care of my children and treats my children according to the way the Bible says I should spare the rod and spoil the child. Okay. And depending on the level of where y'all see it every day in the streets, how women especially are somewhere always coming for somebody's child, and saying stupid, crazy, and mothers that know better and are living above a higher level frequency than that, gutter stuff. They get up in arms about their child, and it's fighting words. Same here. Okay, no, I don't got other men's private areas. Okay, no, I don't. But it's highly offensive to say I do, and we got a problem.
I switch.
Okay, so listen to me. Manhood is all we got left. You really got to understand this. Just give me a second to land on this.
I'm with you. I'm listening.
If we don't have our manhood, we ain't got nothing. So when a man walk up to you and say something flirtatious to you, when a man walk up to you and say something where he's challenging your manhood and things like that, trust me, I don't care how savage it may seem. When you dealing with a man, you can set a man off if you in his face and you saying things that are not. I'm not talking about somebody just saying anything. I'm talking about there are certain things, like I can't walk up to a man walking down the street with his wife and son and say, man, your bitch thick. I'll be like, wait a minute. Of course, by me being older, the last thing I want is drama in the streets. But what I'm saying is, You can't disrespect men face to face. You can do it online because it's easy to do it online.
Nope. See, that's where we disagree.
Okay, I want to hear this.
That's where we disagree because you got to keep the same energy across the board. You can't pick and choose when you can disrespect somebody and when you can't disrespect somebody, and then pick and choose when you're going to react to somebody disrespecting you. You wrong, bro. You wrong as two left shoes. You're wrong, bro. I fuck with you. I fuck with you because you are one of the most disrespectful, and stand on that shit.
But I want to understand what you're saying, Anton. You missed me when you say you can't disrespect people. What? Make sure you explain that to me.
You got to keep the same energy across the board, bro.
I don't understand.
You can't say I'm a disrespect you online, but then you can't do nothing in person.
Well, trust me.
That's not. No, you can't do that.
I'm not saying what.
We already know that goes down. There's a lot of internet gangsters out here that do that. So Chad Smith 50 says that's Black American business rule number 1. No man's supposed to talk about or around purple squash emojis. That's not cool. If someone accuses someone of Epstein just as equally offensive, nah, it's up. Exactly. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, you accuse somebody of doing something that's to the egregious level of life that especially people get persecuted for. Okay. Say somebody took what Anton said at face value about Corey Holcomb, and then they went on a crusade slandering Corey Holcomb all over the place, and say for whatever reason he went to go book a comedy show somewhere, and they're like, nah, we heard something about you. Nah, we don't want that kind of business going on over here. You see what I'm saying? If you don't stand on business out here for what really matters to you and what's, important to your livelihood, other people, other things in life will make you stand on it in one way or the other, and it'll come back and it'll slap you in your face, and you'll wish like, oh, wait a minute, I should have stood on business over here, because now over here I'm having problems.
You're wrong about, but listen, talking to somebody in person is different than talking to somebody online. And if I'm so disrespectful, what do I do to be disrespectful online? Because you said I'm disrespectful online. I would like to know.
You said out of your own mouth that you will be disrespectful online.
Did
it ain't even. Yes, you did. You just said that.
Disrespectful online?
You said you can disrespect. It's different if you disrespect somebody online versus doing it in real life.
No, I didn't say what I would do.
How is it different?
I said if somebody in the chat room is saying something disrespectful about me, I don't hold that against them because they're
What
typing.
About when you're talking about real people?
What do you mean?
If you comment on somebody and you give your opinion on real people.
I don't want to go back and forth. I'm trying to make sure you understand what I'm saying. Do you hear me when I say
what you're saying?
Whatever I say online, giving an opinion of something is different than if I am.
I said disrespectful. How can you determine whether or not somebody feels disrespected?
Well, feelings is one thing, man.
You felt some type of way?
Yeah, because ain't nobody finna stand in front of my face and talk to me like they on my level when it comes to homosexuality. Like that'll start a war. That'll start a war.
We can agree to disagree. I think you're wrong, bro. I personally, I'm telling you directly, you're hypocritical.
Okay, well, you can say that. I don't think I'm gonna win that argument with you now. But what I am saying to you, Anton, is when you are talking to men face to face, trust me when I tell you this, man, it's different than online. Face to face.
I'm the same person in real life as I am online. I'm gonna tell you that straight up. Right? Anybody, listen, I go city to city. I'm not an online nigga, bro. Like, I create content online, but I really am out in every single city. I done visited almost every single state. I have real meetups in real life. I shake hands. I kick it with people in real life. And I go out there and kick it with the people. I'm not different online than I am in real life. People may think that because they may have never met me in real life, but I keep the same energy. I reciprocate. Or I'm willing to walk away unless it goes up. If it's gonna go up, then it's just gonna go up and we just gonna figure it out from there. But the fact of the matter is, I don't switch up.
See, I'm not
gonna talk about you online. Hold on. I'm not gonna talk about you online. And then when I see you in real life, I'm gonna be like, man, you know I'm just playing. I'm not that type of nigga.
Yeah, but
either I fuck with you or I don't.
But see, that's just one scenario, Anton. What I'm saying to you is this. This is what I'm saying to you. I ain't saying it to offset what you just said. I'm trying to talk to you now.
And I'm not a tough guy either.
I'm not either.
I'm not a tough guy.
I'm not a tough guy. I don't even want to perpetrate like I'm a tough guy. But what I'm saying is, when men stand between each other, there is energy that is being transferred. And trust me, when men disrespect each other face to face, motherfuckers can die.
I agree.
That's when I'm talking to a man, especially face to face, I try to make sure I don't go over the line. And if I ever go over the line, I can apologize.
Is what I'm saying. I understand what you're saying and I agree with you.
Right.
Why is it only face to face? That's where we disagree at.
Well, anything I said, I will say in the face of a man that I said it about.
All right, well, that's
cool. I don't go there to try to. I don't have to shock jock, even though that's something that people say easily. Oh, he's shock jocking. No. Anything I've said about anybody, I will say right to them if they standing in front of me. And I would like for somebody to research the internet on things I've said and show me that I wouldn't say something to somebody if they were standing there. The only thing I said I wouldn't say to somebody if they were standing there, because I saw Charles Barkley in the airport one day. And I realized how big he was when I saw him in the airport. Now, I've said things about Charles Barkley. If he was standing in front of me and he said, say that shit now, I'll be like, we black, man. Come on, let's calm down. I ain't gonna lie. That's the only one.
You know what the problem with this show today is? We got to do a part 2. Because we ain't talked about none of the shit that we supposed to talk about.
That's why, because we can't say dick sucking in front of each other, brother.
Well, I know that now, right? I get it.
And I appreciate you for giving me that.
I know that now. So we got to think about how long Anton has been operating under disrespect and no boundaries, where he feels like he can say whatever he wants to say and move according to however he feels. He has no boundaries to respect other people's spaces and places, right?
Because I forget I'm still Corey, because I don't live a life of getting into it with people. I really don't.
No, Corey, you pick on people that you think ain't gonna respond to you.
Now, give me an example.
Corey, you pick your targets based off of what you think they ain't gonna do. And that's why you...
And goddamn me, Anton don't. How many of y'all have watched a show with Anton and he done picked on people that he thought really wasn't gonna respond in a way that was gonna be so affected, have him affected? Like when he did Jazz like that on that panel that night. That's why I don't watch Anton any longer. He called Jazz a whore because she is an unwed woman. That she's a whore because she, is having X with men in her life, however she appropriates her sexual life without being married. He called her a whore. And it was some of the disrespectfulest, rudest shit I've heard a man say to a woman that did not deserve to be called that.
You feel comfortable saying some of the wild shit that you say online.
But I asked you this, and I'm gonna ask you again.
I'm not gonna say
give
no
me
names.
An example.
No, I'm not gonna say no names.
You can't give an example.
No, I can.
Will you please?
Because I don't want to implement nobody into this that,
Y'all couldn't hear me. Sorry. Chad says usually Anton picks on women. Yeah, he usually picks on women. Anton is not from the culture. He would know that you can't talk to men that way. Exactly. You see what I'm saying? Like those are just talking points that you should know instinctually that you should not do. It's wicked.
Oh, that'll be bad. That's not a good thing.
Well, do you understand by you saying that?
I like to speak
By
from my
you
own
saying
perspective.
that, it sounds like babble.
But you know it's not babble. It's real, and you know it's real. That's why you laughing.
I'm laughing at you because you didn't. I had to ask you twice so far.
You pick your
said I
targets
pick on people
carefully,
and I said, give me an example.
You pick your targets carefully, very carefully.
So you can't give me an example
because
that's the third time.
Okay, I'll give you an example.
Okay.
You tiptoed around Dave Chappelle.
You talking about the last time I said something about him?
You tiptoed around Dave.
I'll give you that.
This is Anton trying to save face. He knows Corey's a comedian. He knows that is where Corey's biggest frequency vibrates at, is on a comedic level. So this is Anton trying to save face now. You can hear it in his voice. You can tell by the way he tried to switch up the tone of the conversation, the direction of it. Yeah, he's trying to save face now with Corey and try to maybe switch Corey back over to something that will be a little bit lighter and, something Corey can operate on, comedy.
You tiptoed like a ballerina.
But now I'm gonna give you that.
No.
Like a ballerina. That was shade. That was so shady. Like a ballerina? Who calls other men ballerinas out here? I've been with my husband 10 years. I've never heard his friend call him a ballerina. I've never heard anybody call him a ballerina.
What did I tiptoe about?
You would not have did that shit on a regular motherfucker. You know that Dave Chappelle's last Netflix special was not it.
And I tiptoed around it.
And you tiptoed around it because you didn't want the smoke.
I did.
Overall. And so you pick and choose your targets carefully.
You say I didn't want the smoke.
No, because you didn't want the you didn't want the backlash.
Okay, but look, let me say this because you brought it up. I did tiptoe around how I really feel with the.
Okay, let me. Oh, Dizzle One Son says you sound like Anton hurt you. Anton did not personally hurt me, but I represent all Black women. I'm an empower and an influencer of uplifting Black women. So when he said that to the Black woman on his panel that I've watched continuously come up there and speak on his panel, I've never heard her disrespect him to the level of what he disrespected her at. He called her a whore. That was cruel and intentionally set to drive a dagger through her heart because she's not married. I don't know if y'all know. There's this YouTuber that talks about Anton or whatever, and she put up a video of Anton's wife, and she spoke about Anton. And from listening to her, she's not the happiest wife. Not saying that wives gotta be, just a lot of happy all day, because I'm a wife and I'm, it's up, down, in between in relationships. Relationships are some of the hardest things that you can incorporate, right? But she didn't speak highly of Anton. It wasn't this, glorious, fulfilled life with Anton that she spoke of about him. I don't dislike Anton, for like what he's contributed to his life as a Black man. Well, as a Christian man, he said he ain't a Black man. I don't know. Or however have you. No, that's not nowhere close to that. Okay. I do not like how he disrespects Black people. That's not warranted. I understand some of us are out here, walking in on demon time. I understand that. I'm talking about, just everyday comers and goers of life trying to figure this shit out like everybody else. If you're not up on the level of Anton to Anton, you ain't shit. That's what I see, and that's what I said.
Last special, because I'm not gonna lie. It's everything that I said the time before when I spoke about him. Hot trash. No jokes. In the future, when people watch it, that don't know him like we know him now in this culture, they're gonna be like, what the fuck is this? I'll give you that. I did tiptoe around his special. And you know what?
And
I can live with that.
And
I can live with that.
And
but what else? I ain't trying to think of nothing else.
Thanks for watching. Remember to show your support by liking, subscribing, and sharing. It's a blessing. Keep your teacups filled and ready for my next upload. Until then, stay inspired and remember, always stay dipping.